This is Southwest Oklahoma's high school football show, Gridiron 7, sponsored by Classic Lawton Chevrolet.
Hello and welcome to Gridiron 7 Overtime. I'm your host, 7 Sports reporter James Wicks. Joining me, 7 Sports reporter. I just did director for...
You sure did, but it's okay. You
I
know
think
what?
everybody knows.
It's been a day. It's been a week. Let's be honest.
It's not as bad as last week, but we got a good slate of games for you. Obviously, a lot of the games were played on Thursday instead of Friday, so we have one lone holdover for you tonight on Gridiron 7 Overtime, and then we'll get into the next game after that. But we still are going to start with our game of the week. It's a top 5 battle in Mountain View Gotebo facing off with Tipton and the Tigers. All ready to go, and their offense didn't wait to get going. Trigger Troglin, a big 15-yard gain up the middle, first down. Creed Toe and Tie on the bootleg, evades a couple guys and goes 40 yards to the crib, dives for the pylon, and he is in 6-0 Mountain View Gotebo. 3rd and 15 on the opposite end. Tipton looking for a first down. Sheffield heaves it to Chris Addy, who comes down with it. A 20-yard pass gets them a first down. But 4th down, Sheffield finds Cameron Ramirez on the screen. Looks to find some space, but he is stopped just short. Turnover on downs. We pick things back up in the second quarter. Troglin up the middle, 4-6. And for the first time in a long time, Tipton has lost back-to-back games as Mountain View Gotebo takes down the champs 18-6.
That's insane.
It was unbelievable. They have 3 losses now on the season. I believe they're 4-3 if memory serves. Yeah, that's a big gut check. The loss to Ryan, you need to bounce back against Mountain View Gotebo. Fall short.
Their losses are to 3 teams that I have no doubt will be in the playoffs in just a couple weeks. Hollis and Week, don't quote me on this. Was it 1? 2?
Week 2.
Week 2.
Or their second game.
Their week, yeah, you know what I mean. But anyway, then Ryan, then now Mountain View Gotebo. Absolutely insane what's going on there. But hey, Tipton, 3 straight state title wins. Greatness can't always last forever, and I think we're starting to see a little bit of a downhill trend with Tipton. So opens the door for pretty much anybody else in Class C.
Absolutely. Now, they could still make it to the playoffs, and if they get in, anything can happen. Now, moving on down to Class B, the Empire Bulldogs. You got this one just a couple minutes ago.
I did, yeah. 3 straight wins, actually, looking to make it 4. Cyclones still winless on the season, looking to make a statement. Bryce Shaver gets brought down at the line by Isaiah Adams, but the next play, Shaver would connect with Francisco Garcia. James, this is the kicker playing wide out. Get off of him. 70 yards to the house. Empire strikes first, and a quick 3 in out from the Cyclones. The Bulldogs would go back to work with some great field position. Everybody's loving it so far. Shaver would throw a dime right into our living room, right to Cutter Rochelle to extend the lead. It's all Bulldogs in this one. Empire takes down Snyder 56-0.
Man, what a showing out of Empire. How was it tonight?
Big. I mean, huge, obviously. So it's, for Empire, they're just an explosive offense and a very explosive defense. This one, believe they missed the first couple 2-point conversions. So it was 12-0 basically within about the first 5 minutes. So Empire obviously picking things right up. They're on a roll. It's hard to beat them right now.
Absolutely. Now we pick things back up in Class 5A. Big Mac already up big in this one as they take on Midwest City in a district battle. Connor Claiborne up the middle for his 4th touchdown of the night at that point. They're running all over him. Speaking of run game, not running all over the Highlanders. A big stop there on 4th down. They need it, and they need it bad. Quarterback rolls out, and it is incomplete. Turnover on downs. The Highlanders roll on in this one, 63-28. Now, you had that one. Kind of what were you seeing in that matchup?
Similar thing. I mean, MacArthur came out the gut swinging and just took Midwest City on for a run, second half especially. Just unstoppable on offense. Led to that big win.
Yeah, well, speaking of unstoppable on offense, Piedmont, a 75-0 win over Eisenhower. Things just going from bad to worse out on the west side. Now checking with the other Class 5A scores for you now that are all wrapped up in final. Altus knocked off Noble 70-18. It's the first time they've beat them in the last couple of years, and Altus started off 7-0. El Reno, a tight win over Lawton High, 22. Now checking in with Class 4A now, Elgin, statement win once again. Weatherford, one of the better teams in Class 4A, especially in their district. They still take them down 35-0 in the cash. A big win over Bridge Creek in that one, 17-14. Now checking in with our lone Class 3A team, it's Anadarko as they knocked off Pauls Valley last night, 48-22. Now we got a lot of the games done now, right? We still have a couple of holdouts we'll get to in that just a second. But Class 2A, you had a little bit of a fun one there, huh?
James, I wish Washington was in our viewing area, man, because this probably would have been game of the year right there alongside Tipton and Ryan. But in 2A, Marlow hosted the powerhouse that is Washington over at the Hideout. Sooner head coach Brent Venables on the sideline for this one. Creed Barrett would get things started for the Warriors. Finds Jackson Mays a big play, but the drive would stall out. 4th down, Barrett throws, batted away by Boomer Brooks. The Outlaws would begin to put together a drive. Hudson Morgan on the carry would fumble here. Brooks with the head on a swivel picks it up, turns on the Jets, and all the way down there to the Boomer Sooner head coach. Marlow strikes first, but in the end, they lose a close one in another classic to Washington, 21-14.
Look, that's just one of those tough losses that you're going to encounter throughout the season. When you play one of the state title favorites, it could go either way. It looks like it fell to Washington's way last night.
Yeah, Washington's won, is it now 4, right? 4 of the last state championships?
Yeah, it's them and Millwood.
Yeah, that's always one of them, and Washington's had the better of them the last, since I can remember. So going toe-to-toe with the state champs, 4-time state champs like that, there's not a lot to be upset about there, Marlow. I mean, obviously things you need to fix headed into the playoffs, but for now, that's an impressive outing for them.
Absolutely, and we're probably going to see those teams face off again
no doubt.
in the playoffs.
No doubt.
Now in Class A, Wilson with the home field advantage against the Rush Springs Redskins. Rush Springs had the ball early in this one. Core Jones decides to keep it, moves to his right, keeps going, dodges a couple tacklers before he's eventually moved on down. Jones looking to fire back to the screen to the left, and they are wrapped up, punched out by Cole Hedgewood, and it's recovered by Wilson. A huge play for the Wilson defense, and that's a happy future Eagle that you just saw there. Now the Eagles looking to score. It's a handoff to Bobby Adams, takes it through the contact and all the way into the end zone. Wilson takes down Rush Springs in this one, 37-12. Now we're going to keep things moving. We weren't at that game. Shout out to KXII for the footage in that
Appreciate
one.
y'all, fellas. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. We obviously swap footage back and forth. Now back in Caddo County, Apache played host to Southwest Covenant, looking for their first win of the year in Class A. Now they're trailing, a decent return here. Now watch, they get a penalty. They get the ball around the 50-yard line, leads to good field position. Dayton Scott on the toss, runs outside, and he gets the first down. Grant Brown looking to keep things rolling on the offense. Surveys, heaves this one towards the end zone, but it is intercepted. The Patriots end up getting the ball back in that one, and that's all she wrote as Apache fell in this one, 47-14. Now more Class A scores for you now. Obviously Southwest Covenant knocked off Apache 47-14. Hobart a big win over Stratford in that one, 40-12. Carnegie knocks down Moreland 32-14, and then Frederick a very impressive win over Christian Heritage Academy 34-14. Finally, Minko beats Walters 41-14. Now over to Central High, the Broncos played host to Hollis, and you were on hand for this one for a little bit of it.
I was, man. I'm way over there in Stevens County, I guess. It's the Tigers up big just before the half. Matt Parker picks up the first down on the run using his legs, getting a little shifty with it, but eventually gets escorted out of bounds there. Now on the goal line, Lincoln Braun picking up the fumble in the end zone there. 2-point conversion. Braun once again. It is all Tigers, especially on defense. A pack of Tigers going for Landon Johnson on the sack. They pitch a shutout, 48-0 over the Choves.
Another big win for Hollis. That resume looks better and better and better. Obviously, they had the loss to Laverne. And keep the ball rolling, though.
Yeah, I mean, they took down Tipton week 2, 1, whatever you want to call it. They took them down regardless, and keeping the ball rolling late, especially this is the time of the year where these big-time wins like this, the bigger the better.
Absolutely. Now we're going to keep the ball rolling in big-time wins in Caddo County as Cyril takes on Wetumpka in this one. Some Class B action. Both offenses were rolling, Jeremiah Alberty swoops in for the sack to get a big stop, and they need one more to get the ball back. After a loose snap, though, it's a little bit easier when the play turns into chaos and they get him in the backfield. Surreal ball now. Nash Harmon surveys, finds Kellen Biffle down the sideline. He takes this one 45 yards to the house. Number 3 never had a chance trying to tackle him.
Yeah,
he
luck.
marches into the end zone. Pirates handle business 54-28. Now moving on in Class B, we got one score for you from last night. Waurika beats Burns Flat Dill City 64-18. Then moving on to Class C, Ryan, another impressive performance, looking like possibly the best team in Class C that we've seen so far.
Some are saying
you
that.
can make that argument
Some are
when you
saying
win
this.
the games that they have won. It's a big win over Corn
Huge.
Bible in
Big
that
time.
one. But we have so much more. We're just getting started. The playoffs are inching nearer and nearer, and these district games starting to mean more and more.
Yeah, it's weird. We're through week 7 now, which
I know.
is flown by.
Absolutely.
Flown by. But yeah, it won't be long before the real road to Chad Richardson Stadium at UCO begins, and we start crowning some champions once again out there.
Absolutely. We will have to wait and see for that. But for the regular season, make sure to stay tuned into Gridiron 7
we got it going
overtime. We
on.
got all of the action here in Southwest Oklahoma for all of our Oklahoma teams. Thank you so much for joining us.